I'm childless by choice. I am married. I've been with my husband for nearly 15 years, and both of us have decided that we don't want children. And I just thought I would make a video about it because I always wondered whether the concept of me standing strong in that decision that I don't want children in my life, even though it's been a really difficult ride, really difficult to help people understand why. People don't get me, people don't understand me. They're like, how can you not have children in your life? And I stand strong in my views, my feelings, my desires, my wants. And I want to make this video because I hope that I will inspire someone else to stand strong with this as well. So, hi, if you haven't met me before, I'm Charlie and I live in the southwest of the UK. And yeah, I decided from a really young age that I probably wouldn't ever give birth. When I was 12 years old, I was in my geography class and my teacher was telling us, like my whole class, all about the whole China baby thing, like the one baby per couple, that sort of thing, and all the reasons why. And I said to myself there and then, like, I wasn't really sure why anybody would want to give birth in this life, because there are so many children that don't have families for many different reasons. For, their parents have died or they're not capable of looking after them. And there's so many children out there up for adoption that I knew at age 12 that I would never give birth. And actually, as my life has moved on, I have decided that, even though I sort of really wanted to, or not really wanted to, but potentially wanted to adopt, I kind of decided actually that children, I love them. I think they're amazing. I just don't want to raise any. I don't want to be a parent. And this brought some very difficult conversations around with my family. My mother in particular, it was a really difficult sort of time. And it wasn't just like I told my mum and then that was it. And, it was difficult and there was an argument and all that sort of stuff. This conversation actually went on for maybe like 2, 3, 4 years. And even now to this day, I do get little jibes, little little tidbits in conversations around children and the fact that I don't have any. And it's very difficult for me. And going through that process, particularly with my mum, it was a difficult time. And the one thing that I can say to you is that if other people are pressuring you to do anything in life, whether it's have children or quit a job or, even divorce someone, you've got to do it in your own time, and you've got to stand strong in the conviction of who you are as well. So I know that I cannot have children just because my mother wants me to. Like, that is not a good enough reason for me to have children. I know that I don't want children. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to give birth. I don't want to raise children. I love my time and my energy. I'm so independent that I just don't want to give up my time to anybody else. And people don't understand it. And that's okay. It's just a thing that you do in life. You're supposed to go to university, find a partner of the opposite sex usually, right? You're supposed to get on the mortgage ladder. You're supposed to get a good job and settle down and get married. And after you get married, what happens? You have children. And my husband and I actually got married 6 years ago now. No children. And I actually had to say to my family at the wedding, or before the wedding it was, just so you know, James and I aren't getting married because we want to have children. We're getting married because we want to get married. And there are no children in the picture. And I turned 40 in a couple of months, and I'm still happy with that decision. You may have found, if you are also childless by choice, you may have found that people will say certain things to try and manipulate you into doing what you don't want to do, have children, etc. And a lot of the things that I got quite often was, I couldn't be a woman. There was no way that I could have been feminine or woman if I didn't want children. So that made me doubt my femininity, made me doubt my connection to my own body. It made me doubt whether I was actually born a woman, whether I actually had the female hormones. And, you know, I'm a cisgendered woman, so I am female. I am connected to my body. I do a lot of somatic work to connect with my body. But other people will tell you otherwise. Oh, you can't be a woman if you don't want children. And that's the biggest one, for sure. The other ones I have are, there's something wrong with you mentally. I've never really had many mental health issues in my life. I've been very, very lucky. I did suffer from a little bit of anxiety. Not really much depression, but I've never really suffered from mental health issues. But I have been told, because I don't want children, that there must be something wrong with me in my head. How on earth does that make me feel when, you know, I'm actually quite a happy person? I'm quite jovial. I love my life. I just do what I want to do. I'm really independent. And yeah, to have people say that I am mentally ill because I don't want children, it's really weird. Really, really weird. So I think those are the two main ones that I have quite often. My other one that I have as well, specifically from my mother, is, why do you not want children to look after you in your old age? And I say that is not a good enough reason to have children. I do not want to reach 80 and have to rely on my adult children to look after me, because who knows what's going to happen? What happens if they're not around? What happens if we're estranged? What happens if they passed away because, you know, they've had a childhood cancer issue or something like that? Anything could happen between now and then if you have children. Anything can happen with yourself as well. I could pass away in 10 years, pass away tomorrow. And that is just not a reason to have children. And also, if you look at it on the flip side as well, I do not want to have to be responsible for looking after my parents when they're old. And I will, because I do, and I am, and I'm, you know, quite happy to do that. But to be expected to look after my parents just because they've had me so that I can look after them in their old age doesn't sit well with me at all. At all. So I definitely have a nurturing, motherly instinct in me. I know that. And I just channel it in different ways. I have pets that I love. I have a husband that I love. Didn't mean to put my pets first, by the way, but sometimes that happens, right? You do look after your pets sometimes more than your husband, because your husband can, you know, he's independent as well. Can look after himself. I'm a coach and I'm an empath. So there's plenty of ways that I can use my femininity, I can use my nurturing, my motherly instincts in life. Don't have to have children. And, you know, I chosen not to have children because I want to go to those adult-only hotels. When we go abroad, when we go on really nice holidays, we want a quiet life. We don't like entertainment on our holidays. We don't like, you know, people screaming and shouting and splashing in the swimming pool. We want quiet, and that's just who we are. We're introverts. We don't want, you know, really to talk to anyone while we're on holiday. We do enough of that in our jobs. And yeah, we want peace and quiet. We don't want kids screaming and splashing in the pool or crying at the next table in the restaurant. And there's nothing wrong with that, because actually, even if you're a parent, you also probably don't want that as well on holiday, right? If you're a parent of a 12-year-old and you're sitting there and, you know, a 5-year-old is splashing in the pool, it's kind of annoying, even though you've been there and you've done that, and your kid used to be 5 years old and, you know, was screaming and splashing in the pool. You don't want that now. So yeah, we just like to go on our adult-only holidays, and we get to do what we want as well. Our life isn't ruled by anything but ourselves. Get to make our own decisions, get to do what we want, get to spend our money in the way we want. And I think really that should be celebrated. And that should be, yeah, celebrated, literally. It's okay for women not to want to have children. It's okay for men not to want to have children. You don't have to be a family person to have a fulfilling life. And this is what people have to understand. You don't have to have children, and you don't have to be a parent to have a fulfilling life. And I just hope that this video is going to inspire anybody out there to really think seriously about whether they want to be pregnant, whether they want to give birth, and whether they want children in their lives. Because let's face it, it's at least an 18-year commitment, if not more. It could be the rest of your life commitment, right? And yeah, I want you to think about it. Think long and hard. Are you being pressured by other people around you? Is your spouse pressuring you to have children? Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. Are your parents pressuring you? Is anybody else in your life pressuring you? Do you feel pressured because all of your friends have gone and got pregnant and started families? If so, that's okay. You can live your life without children, even if other people around you want you to have children or do have children. It's absolutely fine. And yeah, I just hope this inspires you. So I'm going to wrap up the video. Thank you very much for listening. If you're still hanging on to my video right now, thank you for listening. And yeah, just think to yourself, what do you want in life? How are you going to have a fulfilling life? Is it with children? If so, then amazing. If it's not, equally amazing. Just you do you, and you have your own fulfilling life, not anybody else's.